Avinu, you have to have a lev tov, an ayin tova, ayin tova, the ruach nomocha v'nefesh shela. As we bodek ben adam and yesh lo shlosh reila, as we nichnas liot talmid shel haminyan shel aman. Im hu yesh lo ayin tov, the baal haminyan shel v'yechon ben zakai. עכשיו שואלים איך היה התלמיד של אבינו או יוחנן בן זכאי מסתכל כאשר חי בזמן בית המקדש עכשיו שבא תשעה באב ומצרות איך הוא מרגיש, איך הוא נוהג את עצמו כמו שאישה דתייה איך היא חי בין בעיות אישה לא דתייה איך היא חי עם דתייה question like this if to be in the group called Amavir, you have to have an ayin tova, a nefesh, what? Ruach mocha, the nefesh shleil. And according to Yochanan ben Zakkai, you have to have a lev tov. So how would a person with these qualities look at a situation of trouble and problems? Beis Hamikdash can't be worse than that. I have zero tov. What's the worst problem that Jews can have? Destruction of Beis Hamikdash. What's less than that? All kinds of problems. Down to the lungs. This is 0 to 100, the scale. So we talk about how do we handle the worst problem. Now how would we handle it? That's all. How does somebody with a left toe, an ayin tova, how do they handle Tisha B'Av? That's all. The discussion is open. Have a little paper here to give the answer to that.
I would think that for a person who does midos, that we have him to...
No, the certain type of midos. Ayin Tova, or left toe, how would they look at this one?
So how
would they look at Tisha B'Av troubles? How do they handle trouble? Spiritual trouble.
For example,
good. So the first thing is, we know it comes from God. Troubles come from God. And that's a little hard to believe. Why? Because we believe, you know who broke my car, you know who talked bad about me, you know who, this person. You know why he did it? Because this reason and that. You know what? So, we always took bad. Who's bad? The Arabs are the ones that did it to us. So who's killing the Jews? The Arabs. The government is bad. The Arabs are no good. This person is bad. My neighbor is no good. So what do we say? What's the first step? Where does it come from?
God.
Now, that could be they are no good. There's no shot they're no good. The neighbor is no good. The government is no good. The Arab is no good. The person is no good. They're all no good. The question is, where does it come from? It comes from Hashem. So now, the question is, the first step is what? This you have to know. Who was the stick? Why? Who did Hashem send to beat you up? The Arab, the husband, the neighbor, the child, the car, the government, whatever. Who is the stick? The bank, whatever you want to say. The stick is that. Now, you have reasons why the stick is there. Why this stick? There's a cause and result. There's also a justice of right and wrong. Why this stick, not another stick? How come this and that? There's all kinds of stories. Okay. We know the story that the person came to the inn, and in the inn, what happened? He climbed up the ladder, and they fell down, and got killed, and the whole story. Rashi says that this is the one who did this, got killed this way, did the shogeg, all kinds of stuff. Okay. It all works out in the chesh. Okay. That's one. Step one, and it comes from God. Okay. But why is that an ayin tova and a left toe? That's the reality that this is what's happening. We look at things in reality, but we didn't get the ayin tova of what's happening. And the left toe. What do we see in punishment? In pain. Now, when a person is in pain, let's say the person's in the hospital. Your neighbor's in this Russia's in the hospital. right? And the neighbor or the Russia there is in the hospital, and the doctor's coming, and he sees these big knives and terrible bitter medicine, and the person in the hospital prays, Hashem, I don't want to take the medicine so bitter. I don't want the pain of the knife, or the doctor sticking his finger here, or doing this, or pressing here, or the pain. Let the doctor die, let the medicine break, let nothing happen. Just let that thing, let all the medicines break, and let the doctor disappear, and just let them go away and not give me the medicine, and not give me the operation. Chas v'sholom. Right? No, nobody wants the pain, nobody wants the medicine, but you know the medicine is what? The Tova. But who wants that Tova? Okay, but you have to because you have a greater goal. Okay? This Chaim Voloshin brings down Nefesh HaChaim. That example. So the patient and the parent. Patient doesn't want all that deep medicine. So now we have the pain. We have the pain. Okay, we don't like the pain, but we know it's for our benefit. Right? So how do we look? So that's called, we look at pain as an Ayin Tova. In a good way. We say medicine is not bad, we say medicine is what? Bitter. We don't say bad. We don't say bad and good with medicine. We say medicine is bitter. We don't say pain is bad, we say pain is hard, bitter. So that's a night where you got left toe. So we got to say that when Hashem gives it to us, He gives us with a left toe. How can pain, problems, troubles be with a left toe? That is the next problem. You say He gives us this and not something else. Okay, thank Him, but I thank you, but still I still got the pain, I still got the trouble. Still got punished. It's a kapara, okay? How do you get the Ayin Tova? Let's talk about Tisha B'Av. Right in Tisha B'Av, after we cry at night, wear our shoes and fast, and cry for the temple, sit on the ground, don't go to our beds. In the afternoon right away, certain Sfardim, what they do? Clean the house, rub the house down. We don't say tachmin. What? Tisha B'Av is going to turn into a moed. We are counting for the Geula, redemption. We're always thinking of good, that this pain will go away and give a relief, let's say, and then only the good and the happiness will come. So therefore we know that right now it's only a temporary position for a future better good that will happen. Therefore we know that this thing that we're doing, this discipline that we're doing now, is really for our benefit, because somebody's going to do this good later is not a masochist or wants to or a sadist, but is doing it for our benefit. And the proof of the pudding is that afterwards we're going to live happily ever after. And you have all the benefits of goodness that will be. So we can sum up and say that how does a person with an Ayin Tova and a left toe approach Tisha B'Av? There's no shaila about it. You have to touch the feelings of pain. Because without touching the feelings of pain, it says better to go to Beit Ovel than Beit HaMishnah. Go to a house of mourning. Because a house of mourning, you touch your feelings, you get the understanding of life, and you begin to realize who you are and what you are to make the changes to grow. A Beit Mishnah, which is a party, which is a wedding, you let yourself spread out, you're happy, let things go. But it's also expansion. But it's not change. It's not change. It's an expansion, but not a change. Beit Ovel, the live people put in their hearts and they change. It's the beginning of change. Pain is the beginning of change. You decide, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm going to change my ways, I'm not going to do this, do that, in order to, and you decide to make change. So you touch the pain, after the pain, you realize it's from God, from sin, and it's a kapara for your benefit. But at the end, things are going to turn good. So you know it's really God is doing with a full heart and goodness. So if he asked, how does a religious man, then will Tisha B'Av make a person depressed? Can it make a certain person depressed? No. Can a person, having all these undis parts, can he actually feel pain? Yes. Because if you thought the pain is endless, and there's no hope, you get despair, and you get depressed. But if you know the pain is there for your benefit, and it's not forever, and it's going to change, so there's no way of getting depression, there's no way of getting down. It's a real experience of growth. Because you know at the end, good comes out of it, that means growth will be there. So therefore, touching the pain and crying and letting yourself go to touch the pain on Tisha B'Av is a place of growth. The Ramban has a special book, a section, Sefer Gemul, when people, Chas v'Shalom, lose their parents, to talk about the experience of death. How it helps a man grow in his understanding. It's an experience nobody should know, but everybody in lifetime experiences something. And there's a certain matured growth of understanding of the greatness of God. All the time, we mentioned, when some good things happen, even bad things happen, what are you supposed to do? You bring God in the picture. If something good happens, you have a bar mitzvah, a wedding, you're on vacation, what do you say? Say, Baruch Hashem. Or a child will be, you say, Rachmei Hashem, look at Hashem, what a wonderful child. Rachmei Hashem, and why you gave me mercy to have a good child, or something good. Chasdei Hashem, who is your God? When you have troubles, what do you say? Baruch Dynamics, you had God in it. Yes, Hashem needs to give me Rachmanis in the case. Rachmei Hashem. You always bring Hashem into the picture of the situation. And then in the good parts, Rachmei Hashem, so that removes Ayin Hara and other things. And in the bad side, you bring God, that will eliminate and alleviate a lot of the pain. And also, God has pain, and it eliminates it. So the way to handle pain, if you don't get, not to get depressed and down, in order to grow from it, in order that there's a midah that it says in Kehelas, Eis Lakol is a time for all. And everybody stays away from pain and feeling. A person has to face it. Because when you know you have an Ayin Tova and a left toe, you know God has an Ayin Tova and a left toe. And this is your avodah to do, so you're able to handle it in a matured way. And you grow from the feelings of the pain of the Jewish nation as a whole, of the terrible tragedy what took place. I met some Beis Yaakov, I think these Beis Yaakov were in Tziyon last week. They asked them, what do you want in the Shiur? What do you want the Beis HaMikdash for? What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? If you're a young girl, you go for a shit up. It's like you're a Shamayim, yeah. When your husband learned Torah, what's missing? What's missing? Your husband learned Torah. You have economic wealth, you have kollel that support. So what are you missing? What is missing today that we need the Beis HaMikdash? Or what's missing? Nothing is missing. You have takeout foods. You have poor people can go to hotels today. Just had a new hotel opened up.
For poor people?
What?
Just for poor people?
$135 a day, breakfast and supper. In the boys were talking about it in the base measure. In around the Dead Sea, the new Hyatt hotel, the largest there is. What?
Two people?
Two.
And then say something.
Two. That's what I heard. I
Two
don't-
meals?
2 meals. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true, but it was in the base measures today. Macha said, okay, who says, yeah, I want $35. But I'm talking about comparative prices. My son went to Russia, went to Moscow, he paid for a dump. Yeshiva paid $350 for one night in a dump hotel in Moscow. I paid, when I was in, I forgot which part of, I was in Ukraine, I paid $175 a night on a dump.
How can it be
The
that
sec-
that's so expensive?
God, with the mafias there, they know what money is, they know. They know. They know. Just don't sleep in the room, no service, no food. Anyway, the worst in Israeli hotel. Anyway, what Machaseh, what do you need the Mashiach? What are you going to gain? What's the Mashiach going to gain to you that you don't have that? You're going to have to share, you're going to buy him.
Understand God, man.
It's not going to bring people who have no husbands. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen?
Why? It's not gonna happen?
No. What's going to happen? Ayin bang, most Yeshiva, they're only in the Yeshiva Malchus. What's going to happen?
Will people still be sick?
Right. Okay, we don't know. Who knows? You stop there. Today we have all these medicines. Today I have heart transplants and they have this. So we expect that. So okay, she'll have these better benefits. Okay, but that's the whole thing. Most people are not sick. Well, what's that? Does that affect you? No, come on. What are they? What? What? אנחנו הולכים, מבלים, רוב האנשים, So explain to them, explain to you that we really don't know what is mean by Shechina, etc. But we do know that the Shechina, Hashem is crying, we're in a terrible matzah. We don't even know our matzah was so sick, so low spiritually. We don't even know what's wrong. And that's it. And then we cry because he's crying. We don't know what's wrong. We don't know the difference of we're going to have it be in the temple, not the temple. I don't know. Most people don't want to be there. They want to be involved with animals slaughtering and the blood oozing down and there's all these type of karbanos and smicha. And what you're going to do? Put your hand on the animal. Most people can't even touch the animal. How are you going to touch this big animal over there? We can't even picture the stuff. You make up with your neighbor next door, everybody will be friends. You really want everybody to be friends with you, you try to keep the grudges. You try to give up and make friends, you try to keep the grudges. What do you think, guys? You try to keep the grudges, who wants to give up? If you lose your individuality, you don't have a Yetzer Hara. Who wants that? You want that? No Yetzer Hara. You have to sit and learn, be good. Only good. Only good. Goody, good. Better good. Who wants that?
Who will be nerds? Like the girls say, they don't want to be a nerd. Who else are into nerds?
Whatever. Anyway, but the real thing, we don't understand what we're doing. We do know that the Shekhinah is a terrible tragedy. And we know the Shekhinah cries, and he cries for us, so it must be very bad. We cry to his face, and then that relieves, so to speak, the pain, and therefore it helps bring the rule. But I'm bringing it out as simply that we have to feel the tragedy of Klal Yisrael. Think of, because, and that's what it says in Eicha the Sin. And we know it's a kapara what we're doing, but we know with an Ayin told and a Lev told, no, God has that. We only do that because that's the meat of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, he said the world was good. Told. Ayin told, and left to Hashem to work the world. So that was the first day with those achdus. The Jewish people have achdus, so it's good for the world that Jews have achdus. But it's bad for the world if Goyim and Yishonim have achdus. It's better they have piyut, separation. Because if the Arabs get together, it wouldn't be nationalism in the world, everybody unite together, it'd be bad, they'll all go against the Jews. Because Esav, son of Yaakov, that Esav, it was better, it was peace, so it was little countries, the organization. It's better for us. Because we're all united, they'll go against it. Good. So the Goyim by definition is pure, the Jews by definition is the second day we explained already was pure. The waters above, the waters below. The third day Hashem said to the Eitzim, he said that the fruit of the tree should be the taste of the bark, or the bark of the tree should be the same taste as the fruit, and they rebelled. The fourth day we had the sun and the moon fight. So we have all these fights going on. The last day, the sixth day, we had this fight between man and God kicked him. Man didn't listen to God, and he kicked them out of Gan Eden. So our job is to see the greatness, the oneness, and to get rid of machlokas, and to have the Almighty, when He created the world Tov. It's our job to have Tov, a lev Tov, and an Ayin Tov. And when it comes to these different occasions that we have in our own personal life, in Klal Yisrael, you have to always remember, when you're in trouble, am I acting like a Talmud of Arabi? Will a religious woman do what I'm doing, and say what I'm saying, or feel what I'm saying in times of trouble? How would a religious woman act in the time of trouble? How would Sari Menu act in the time of trouble? Very hard. Now twist it the other way around. Since I am a religious woman, if I don't act like a religious woman, Sechel Hashem. Because the non-religious woman, people say, is this a religious woman? Is this a woman her husband learns Torah? Is this what you've been studying all the years? Is this how you're supposed to act as a religious woman? That's right. I have a few minutes. I want to ask you any questions. It's a very serious topic, although he took it lightly. I explained a few basic rules. It's hard to live it. It's good to talk about it, but to live it is not easy. Any questions? Okay, I want to read to you a little piece over here, in the last minutes. Goes like this. There's an argument between the Taz and the Bach, two big rabbis. When you eat fruit, let's say, when you make ala michya, you say ala peres, right? Ala eretz chem de Tova chova sheyotzitlan chalav shem before it's going to go. Ala eretz chem de Tova chova sheyotzitlan chalav shem lechom mipiros b'mituvo. We say, B'nei Shalom Yaakov Me'amenu, B'aleinu Socho, L'samchenu B'nyano, V'neichami Piriyom N'ismami Tuvo. So we talk about Eretz, the greatness of the future is going to be. So we say that what? We're going to eat these wonderful fruits, these wonderful things, Moshe. Right? So the Torah says, these words should be eliminated. It's not nice. You talk about physical things. You're talking about physical things of fruits, good fruits, and a good country. Are you going to? Are you looking for physical things? The main thing is mitzvah. Because when Moshe Rabbeinu said, "I want to come and see the land," right? And Moshe Rabbeinu cried with Aver, because Israel. Why? Just to eat the fruits, or to do the mitzvah? So the argument, fruits and mitzvah. Okay, but the Bach says no. The Bach says no. And he said, "Pikudushasa shel eretz." That in the fruits of Israel have in it the holiness of Eretz Yisrael. So see the physical fruit, but in the physical fruit has in it the holiness of Eretz Yisrael. Shel Eretz HaKodesh Es Kedushata Hu Machnis Hatoch Bito. When you eat the holy fruits of Israel, the fruits that come from holy Israel, so you eat it so that holiness goes into you. That's holds the Bach. Sounds a little mystical, a little spiritual. And we do it also, we make a bracha. What do we lechol mipiyos l'mitzvah al eretz hakdosha? Right? It says in Yirmiyahu, V'ol b'yeskem al eretz hakar l'echol mipiyos u'mituva. And we say the rechol b'dusha v'torah. Okay? So they ask the question. The Hakira goes, do you eat? Why do you make a bracha? In order to eat the fruits. In order to eat the fruits, you're not allowed to eat the fruit without making the bracha. So the reason why you make a bracha is to eat the fruits, or no? You want to make a bracha, but in order to make a bracha, you have to eat the fruits. Again, why do you make the bracha? You make the bracha because you want to eat the fruits. You're following your lust of the fruits. Therefore, you want to eat the fruits, you must make a bracha. No. You want to make brachas. You have 100 brachas for the day. So the mela, you have to have food. Which comes down to that. How do we look at the fruits of Israel? Do we look at them as, what kind of eye do we see in the fruits of Eretz Israel? What kind of eye do we see? What is our eye? Do we see in it the holiness? We just see fruits. Physical things. So now they bring down an interesting thing. The Rebbe Mika. Moshe Rabbeinu says, everyone knows the Eretz Ha'aretz. I want to go and see the Holy Land. So yes, you just come in, what do you have to say to see? Ela bikesh Moshe Rabbeinu, everyone knows the Eretz Ha'aretz HaTova. She'esker liros rakas ha'tova al shaloretz. V'loikim meraglim shalorah. Because I want to come to Eretz Yisrael, and I want to see the Eretz HaTova. I want to be able to see the goodness in the land. If we have an Ayin Tov and a left toe, we're supposed to see what? The goodness in Eretz Yisrael. The goodness in somebody. What is really marriage? You see the goodness in your husband. More in your child as a mother, you see the goodness of your baby, your child. You got to see what? The goodness. There's a lot of bad there. I got to say, no, everybody got bad. What are you supposed to see? The good. The same thing with yourself. You want your husband and your children to see what in you, and God to see what in you? The good points, not the bad points. You want your husband or your children or God, your friends to see what? Look how good I am. And the bad points, those are detailed with that. Don't look at them. Look at the good points. So you expect from other people, or you want to show other people to have an Ayin Tova and a left toe, but you have to have the left toe to see in others, and Mida Kenegi Mida, or Mera B'Mekim. So this concept of seeing good, there's a mitzvah. You come to Eretz Yisrael, talk good about Eretz Yisrael. Have an Ayin Tova, a left toe. Especially on Tisha B'Av, when you meet your friends, you're good. Think good. It's not just positive thinking. It's actually seeing Midos Tova. That's your job. Right? Every time. Because you have to know why. See, it's brought down Rishonim. You should gather people together and talk about what? Tshuva. But the first thing is we said you have to recognize it comes from God. Second of all, you got to recognize that what it comes from sin. And God does it for our benefit. At the end, it's good. You understand? So then those midos, we want to emulate that God has. So therefore, we're supposed to do what? Be good about people. Look for good in people. That's the tikkun. If we want God to look good and do the good to us, we have to do the good and help the Ayin Tova and left help to others. It's very hard. That's it. Everything is good in theory, but it comes to practice with your own life. Right? What? What? Why is it Hashem? Nobody should know those problems, right? Very hard. Because nobody wants rejection. You're good, and the other one rejects you. You see good in the other person, and sees bad in you. How does that relate? Is that good? If you see good, he sees good. It's like a mirror. Tell him what's coming. My own mind was good, but let's say you see good and he sees bad in you. How does that feel? And you're seeing good, and you're giving out, and you're getting back bad. What do you say? Terrible? Mercy. No, but the answer is no mercy.
The answer is you have to have an Ayin Tova on the left. There's nothing to do with anybody. If you're a Talmidah, I'm a Vigel, and you have to have the always thing on, and that's very hard. Right, so hard. But you got to do it. That's very good. Very good. That's for everybody. 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 And then yeah, that's right. Rachmei Hashem for everything. But for what? You know? First of all, let's
First thing you get to die.
yeah, but let's talk the other way around. Nobody likes to say chotasi. The reason why these things are happening because it's nobody wants to say that. Well, I'm bad. Chotasi is one of the hardest things to say. To admit wrong, you can say yes, but I'm going to explain to you. Because there's a way to claim. To take total and accept total wrong is very hard. It's very hard. Nishak Shera does it, and it's hard to do. Very hard. Yeah. That's the way of the world. You want to succeed, the way of Derech Ayin Tova, the left one. Okay, any other questions?
How would you calculate if there doesn't I'm even left over better breath? How can it be?
So Eov asked that question. They said, must be a good sin. He said, I didn't.